Hello there friends, I'm Kendra Winchester. Welcome back to my channel. We are recording in front of the Christmas tree, my 2023 new books, TBR cart, and the imposter corgi, which my actual corgis despise, as seen in this TikTok video.
That motherfucker back there is not real. And you can sit on this.
They are not fans. So today we will be talking about like New Year's resolutions. We'll be reflecting back on my resolutions for 2023, talking about them, and we will be talking about my resolutions for 2024 and how successful I was with 2023 and how that informs my plans for 2024. There are some I can't mention, but we'll just skip over those and go forth. But there is plenty to talk about here because at the beginning of 2023, I started a Hobonichi Techo planner. This is a new planner. This is what it looks like when it's barely been started. I've only added like washi tape and started some of the inside, and I did my pages for my New Year's resolutions. But that's really it. When it's done, almost done, it looks like this. I mean, look, it's just, and then the spine, it's wild, right? So this is the first one I've ever done. It's my favorite planner in the whole world. My entire life, writing and working life, is in this planner. I have 3. You might have already seen me talk about my reading plans, and I talk about my Hobonichi Techo weeks that I'm using for my reading plan. So I will link that down in the description box, so you can go check that out. And I'll be talking about different parts of that through January. So that's kind of like a series that's going to go through January. But today is New Year's resolutions. We are going to be talking about my 10 2023 New Year's resolutions, how successful they were, how did it go, and how that informed what I chose for my 2024 New Year's resolutions and my plans for that. So let's just jump right in. I feel like these resolutions are also a great way for you, those of you who are new here, to get to know me. Hi, welcome. I'm so happy you're here. And kind of describe some of the things that I am most proud of that I've done this year. I keep seeing this tweet go across Twitter, and it keeps talking, people will say, oh, tell me the proudest thing, the thing that you were most proud of this year, I guess is how we would say it. And I love that prompt. I've put it in some of my group chats. Like, I want to know. I want people to tell me what they are most proud of this year. So if you are most proud of something and you would like to share it, please put it in the comments. I would love to know. I feel like we should be celebrating our wins. It was such a horrific year for a lot of us, for the world. 2024, it's gonna also be a doozy, but I love hearing people's accomplishments and what they're happy about, what they're proud of. My New Year's resolutions is on the turning a page to the new year. It's kind of set up for you to write a letter to yourself. I can't show it to you because there's some New Year's resolutions that you can't know about because they're about projects that aren't announced yet. So I can't show you the pages, but I'm gonna read them to you and we'll talk about each thing, how successful I was, etc. Yeah, so let's jump right in. For 2023, my first New Year's resolution was to launch Read Appalachia. Now, Read Appalachia, whose merch I am wearing, and if you would like Read Appalachia merch, I will link it in the description box. But Read Appalachia is a project of mine that started in 2020. I was moving out of the Appalachian region for the first time. I've lived on the very edge of the Appalachian region most of my adult life, but for 2 years during the pandemic, my spouse and I moved down to the South Carolina Low Country. Then we moved back last year. So I really missed Appalachia when we moved, and so I started a bookstagram just for Appalachian books, and for me it was more like a lookbook for Appalachian literature. I do like little captions and all sorts of things. But when my grandma died in the fall of 2021, I really found a way to reconnect with my grandmother's culture, my grandfather's culture, who passed away when I was a teenager, and that was through Appalachian books. So when my previous project, Reading Women, ended, I took a year off to kind of you know, I was doing freelance work, but I wasn't doing anything very intense. I was just like trying to recover after 6 years of working a gazillion hours a week. And I really wanted to do something more. I miss podcasting. I was doing some freelance podcasting, but I miss producing and planning and all that goes into that. So at the beginning of 2023, I decided to launch the podcast. Now, I'd already made that decision when I made this list. I had a plan, like I had this whole wall of like plans. I taped these sheets to the wall in the study and did all these things. And I will say the first 3 episodes of Read Appalachia are some of the most, like, I'm just so proud. I'm so proud of those 3 episodes because they all work together. They're 3 parts of the same like beginning. I wanted to do Appalachian Literature 101. And so I based each episode on a question. So first we had, what is Appalachian literature? Where does it come from? And where is it going? And through that, I was able to feature a lot of excellent Appalachian publishers, like small indie presses like Hub City Press, University Press like West Virginia University Press, and the University Press of Kentucky. And that presses Appalachian Futures Initiative, which is looking to publish books by Black, Indigenous, people of color, trans and queer authors, disabled authors, and other authors from other kinds of marginalized communities. So I'm so excited for that project. The moment it was announced, I was just over the moon. I was so excited for the plans. So of course I wanted to talk to Stacey Jane Grover, the first author in that series, and her editor, Abby Freeland. Stacey Jane Grover is a trans author from Appalachian, Ohio, which is where I'm from. And then episode 1, I talked to Melissa Helton, who is on staff at the Hyman Settlement School, which has one of the best writing programs in Appalachia. And then Annette Clapsaddle was on episodes 1 and 3. She does a lot. She's an enrolled member of the Eastern Band of the Cherokee Nation. She does so much for Indigenous literature in the area and as a whole. It was amazing. So did that. It was very exciting. I'll put all the links again in the description box. The second one is to stick to my medical diet. Now, up front, I'm on a medical diet. This is not a diet I recommend to anyone who doesn't have my condition. So like, to be clear, I'm not recommending this at all. Diet culture is toxic and so problematic, but this is a medical diet that I have to stick to or I get sick. But there are a lot of things on this list. Like, I'm gluten-free, dairy-free, and I'm supposed to eat low starches. If I do eat starches, it's supposed to be whole grain. I have to avoid like super fibrous vegetables. If I do eat vegetables, they have to be cooked within an inch of their life. Like, it is a long list, not just about what, but how it's cooked, when you eat it, what order you eat it in. It is a complicated diet. I would wish on no one. But I have gastroparesis, which is a process of the stomach, and it can, I don't know, go dormant, go into remission. That's not the right word, but it can be managed and kind of go to sleep, as it were. But mine kind of relapsed, came out of remission, whatever, at the fall of 2022. So I really wanted to try to work this year to get it to go back into a dormant state where it's more easily managed. But I was unsuccessful this year, even though I tried to stick to my diet as much as possible. It's a really difficult situation to be in, because you have to decide what you want to put up with. Gastroparesis is extremely painful and you're malnourished, and so you have a lot of problems like that. It's I'll spare you, but it is a lot. It is a lot, and I feel like I did okay sticking with my medical diet, but I could be stricter, and we'll talk about that again in a second. Third is keep up with Winchester Ave, which is my Substack. Again, all of the things I mentioned today will be linked in the description box, but I am proud of some of the pieces I put out in 2023, but I did take a break during the summer, and I'll explain why here in a second. And yeah, I feel like a lot of these have a part 2 for my 2024 resolutions, so we'll circle back around. 5 is stick with my Instagram. I didn't really do that as much as I would like, but again, there's a reason. There's a reason for it. 4 is take more photos. I did take a lot of photos this year. I took my camera places when we would travel and all sorts of things, just because I wanted to get more photos of my family, and I am very happy with that. I can't travel a lot because I'm sick, but I feel very happy with what I've done, but I still would like to do more. I still would like to finish some sort of like Skillshare class on photography. I have a really nice vlogging camera, but it also takes pretty nice photos, so I would really like to do that more. 6 is something I can't talk about yet. I think I can talk about it at some point in the first half of this year, so we'll set that aside. So number 7, which is where we're at, it is the reason why I did not keep as much up with Winchester Ave and I didn't keep as much up with Instagram. And that's because I took a class this summer. I took this very intense class on writing personal narrative, on writing nonfiction. And for me, I'm writing like a personal essay collection / memoir. I'm not exactly sure what the structure will end up being. But I took this class with Emma Copley Eisenberg, and there were 10 students in the class. I loved everyone in the class and learning more about their projects, and it was a very intense class. There was so much writing, which is why I didn't post to Winchester Ave, because I had no spoons left over. I had no energy left over writing wise, and I had to read a lot, so it was a lot of like screen reader stuff, and I just had constant migraine for like the entire summer, but it was worth it because I was able to create a draft, but not only that, be able to lay out the steps. If I want to get this manuscript published, what steps do I need to take? I met a lot of cool authors. There's an author I met that I will be talking about in the new year because her book is coming out in January. And I'm so excited for it, but this was such a wonderful experience and it's really helped me get my manuscript started, and yeah, I'm very excited to keep working on it. 8 is to record voiceover for all of my Substack. I didn't do that. I need to do it. It's really important to me to have things accessible, but in the best way. And there is an AI version on all of my posts, or I would have made it a greater priority, but I would prefer to have me perform it. I feel like as someone who advocates for genuine like human narrators for audiobooks, I should be doing my own for Substack, but it does require me to read my own text. And that really, I think, is the big struggle, obviously, would be to read the text to do it. 9 is a project I have with my spouse that I can't talk about. My husband and I, if you don't know, met in our undergrad writing program. We were in the same major, same year, and we were the top rivals. Like, let me tell you, that man annoyed the crap out of me. But it was one of those, like, we were a classic, like, hate to lovers romance trope. It's very cute. We would write little notes on each other's stories and be super snarky. And then the class in which we met each other, first got to know each other, first became rivals. Our professor was actually the one who performed our ceremony at our wedding. So, and like half the English department showed up because we were in all their classes, and I don't know. I appreciate that they were all invested in our love story. But anyway, I'm working on a project with him, and if I can, I will share more about it in the new year. 10 is the one I'm most proud of. Maybe not the most proud of. I really like the first 3 episodes of Read Appalachia, but I'm very proud of this one. And that is I signed a book contract to edit an anthology of writing from disabled Appalachians. And this is a project that is a multi-year project. I'm disabled. All the people included will be disabled, chronically ill, deaf, or neurodivergent. And I had a list of folks I wanted to get on board before the new year. All of that is pretty much done. There are a few people I need to email still, but I'll probably just email them in the new year. But we're making a lot of progress. There's a lot of progress that will be happening in the spring at App Studies and all sorts of things with Appalachian Studies Conference. It's the conference for the academic field of Appalachian Studies, which is includes like sociology, history, literature, all sorts of things. It's basically if your academic field intersects with Appalachia and Appalachian studies, that's what it is. Anyway, I digress. But yeah, I'm so excited for this anthology. I'm very excited. I'm writing a piece for it. I'm trying to figure out what on earth that piece is going to be. I really need to get it done so that people have an example. But my original plan kind of fell apart in the fall, so I need to like rethink what I was planning on doing. So I need to talk to my mom over the break, and I'll get back with you. I can't really tell you everything, obviously, but still, very excited for it. Right now, crossing my fingers, it comes out in 2026. But yeah, I will update you as I can. So those are like my 2023 resolutions and how successful or not successful I was with them. So now let's talk about 2024 and the resolutions for that. A lot of these are pretty straightforward because you've already heard a little bit about them. So number 1 is season 2 of Read Appalachia. That starts in January. I've already scheduled a lot of interviews, a lot of interviews for the new year and for the spring. So that's already well underway. But I'm so excited for it. One of my most anticipated books of the year, that one of the author is coming on the show, and I can't. I am so excited. So that is 1. 2 is another thing with the medical diet. Fine-tuning this medical diet is all about figuring out what gastroparesis works. If I can get my gastroparesis to be more managed like it was for like 5 or 6 years, then I can add things back in. So this is not forever. This is just for now. A lot of people are concerned about how little I eat, but like that's the thing with gastroparesis. You can eat a little bit at a time, and a lot of challenge is just processing enough calories. So anyway, I've never done a video on gastroparesis, but I'll link a post I did on Winchester Ave, and you can go read about it if that's something that you would like to read more about. 3 is keeping up with Winchester Ave. I hit my head in September. Long story short, I have chronic daily headaches and migraines, which is why I really struggle to write text. I can't read text, the whole thing. I made a lot of videos and stuff about it. So just wander around, search migraine and Kendra Winchester, and a lot of stuff will come up. But I really need to kind of work out my brain again. So what they do, if you hit your head, even if it's not technically a concussion, it's recommended you just go on a brain rest, and the things that you find that tax your head the most, you just take it easy. It's sort of like having an injury to your ankle or to your wrist or whatever. You rest it, right? So it can heal. And that's the idea when you hit your head. So I have rested the writing part of my brain for a lot. I still have freelance work, so I've been doing that. But I think Winchester Ave will be a great way to kind of work through that. I am a perfectionist, so I really struggle with that, but I just need to get over it and work out my brain, as it were. 4 is take more photos again. I want to go places and take the photos when I go places. I just love taking photos, so that's something fun. I'm not especially like a great artist or anything, but it's fun, so why not do it? 5 is something I can't tell you. It's something I can't really announce, so we're just gonna move on. 6 is I want to continue on with the class that I took, and I want to finish a manuscript draft by the end of 2024. So I know what it is, because I'm finding when I work on like a book proposal, I don't entirely have all the details that I would need for the book to be picked up. So I would really like to at least have a draft done so I can have a better idea of what it's going to look like and whether or not it's an essay collection or a memoir. That would be great. Number 7 is what we're looking at right now. I would really like to keep up with BookTube. I rejoined BookTube partially because I hit my head and I couldn't write about things I wanted to write about. And I started watching, this year I started watching BookTube again, and I've really missed it. It made me really sad that I couldn't make videos, so I didn't watch as much BookTube. I would watch like particular creators, but I wouldn't really immerse myself in the community like I used to. But now I've just really enjoyed making videos again. It's been a real highlight. So definitely want to keep up with BookTube. Yes. 8 is just to finish particular things about the Disability Anthology. Again, I will tell you more when I can. And 9 is basically going to the gym to help create movement and stamina. There are some, my doctors recommend strengthening the muscles around certain joints, and that creates stability in the joints. As someone who has wonky joints, connective tissues, etc., it would be really it's helpful, it's helpful. So I would really like to do that. So I need to focus on that. I've lost a lot of mobility this year, a lot of stamina this year. I need to regain it. So that is number 9. Number 10 is something I added just in December. Let me tell you partially what inspired it. I decided to do a story a day as a sort of advent calendar. I love that little advent calendar that you pull out a little booklet for each day and you can read a short story, and I got one as part of a ad that the company did with Reading Women. And so I got one year and I absolutely loved it, but I couldn't read the stories, right? So my spouse read some to me and it was a whole thing. So I was like, well, I can do that, but what if I just read different collections of short stories? So I pulled out all the short stories that collections that I own that I haven't read yet. And I made a giant stack and I was like, oh my word, I have so many. So I worked it out and I can read like 3 for Advent, right? But I started listening to them in the morning instead of listening to the news first thing. And I can't tell you, my mental health is so much better. Like just waiting to listen to the news later in the day, like not starting my day out with all the horrible things that are happening has been wonderful, and just starting with a story. So number 10 is I kind of want to keep doing that. I'm not sure if I'll do it all year long. In the back of the Hobonichi Techo is this blank page with a bunch of little bubbles that you can fill in for like something you do every day. I didn't use it last year at all because I was like, what on earth besides like existing am I gonna do every day? I don't know. But this year I'm gonna try to read 365 short stories. Part of this is my whole ethos of 2024 and reading the books that I own and reading backlist that I'm more confident that I will enjoy. So that's where part of that comes from. But also just I love short stories. They're just great to listen to. And yeah, so that's the plan. I really enjoyed doing the Advent calendar this year. I read 3 books. I'm going to be talking about that later in my December wrap up. But yeah, I think that'll be fun. If I don't like it and it doesn't work out for the whole year, that's fine. And I can read ahead, and I've made all these different things of like what I can do. But ultimately the idea is that I read 365 stories. I'm going to track them in the Hobonichi Techo and we'll see how it goes. I have a lot of reading plans this year, and I don't think I have ever done that in the history of my reading life. Like these are kind of more specific than I usually do, but you know what? If it makes you happy, right? Well, we like a challenge. We'll see how it goes. We will check in later in the year and see what is working for me. And if certain things about my reading life or whatever aren't working for me, we will revamp them. Because this is for fun. BookTube is the fun book space. Less pressure. I like challenges. That's what I'm creating this for. They're not like demands or obligations. They are fun challenges to do. So that's how I'm looking at it. I used to create a challenge called the Reading Women Challenge, and it was like to read, to meet these challenges throughout the year. I think there was like 24, and so it would be like 2 a month or something. I can't remember. But I usually create that every year based on what I had read in the previous year, like what Reading Women had done, and I haven't done a reading challenge since. So this is my own version. But yeah, that's it. That is the New Year's resolution situation, how I did, what my plans are for 2024. What are your thoughts for 2023? Did you meet your New Year's resolutions? How did that impact your 2024 resolutions? Are you making any resolutions? Some people just do like fun things I would love to do as opposed to resolutions, whatever you call them. I would love to know about them. You could put them in a link if you made a video or a blog post, Substack, whatever. I would love to read them. So that's it from me for today, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, friends.